Hi Leo, the Awakened Dreamer here to give you your general monthly tarot reading for the month of June 2021. Thank you so much for joining me. And the message that I received when meditating on your energy overall for the month was going with the flow. Going with the flow. So we're going to keep it simple and pull 6 tarot cards for the month to see what is ahead for you. So what do we have, Spirit, to begin for the month of June 2021 for our lovely Leos? Thank you, Spirit. For our lovely Leos, thank you, Spirit. All right, we have 2 here. What else do we have for Leo? Thank you, Spirit. And keep in mind I'm a Leo sun. Oops. I'm not going to take those. What else do we have for Leo? Thank you, Spirit. Keep them coming. Alrighty, we have the first half. Bear with me. For our Leos to keep them coming for the second half of the spread. Alright, we're up to 4. And we're going to pull the last 2 right from the top of the deck. Alright, we have all 6. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the King of Wands. It's going to be an underlining feeling or focus on your strength, on your confidence, on how you're feeling, on how you appear to others. A need for you to think about how you inspire others, as well as how you lead the way for other people. All right? And so we're beginning the month in the spread with the Empress. So you begin the month of June and you're giving birth to something new. If it's something you've already experienced or dealt with in the past, it feels new to you. For some of you, you're giving it a new approach. You're doing it differently this time around. Feeling like it's time for you to do something new or view something differently. Allowing for this fresh start or fresh mindset to inspire you. And without meaning to, Leo, you're inspiring those around you. And it brings us back to the King of Wands, where you're simply, without meaning to, being a leader, being one that inspires others to do what's right for them. And think about how amazing that is. But we make our way to the middle of the first half of the month, and we have the 8 of Cups. So you make your way to the middle of the first half of the month, and there's a situation, a small one, that feels like it could escalate. You find yourself needing to walk away. You know that this is a situation, it feels like for a lot of you, it's one other person, a connection. And it feels like you need to walk away in order to maintain a level of peace, a level of, at the very least within you, but also within that connection. The situation needs time to cool down, at the very least, as you know, given you're a Lion, you're a Leo, you need time to simplify things, calm yourself down if need be, at the very least, be one with the inner peace once again, to come back to that situation with a clear mind, a need to be one with your inner peace once again in order to approach that situation in a more productive way. Allowing yourself to remember all that you have to look forward to, given that you are approaching things in a fresh way. And you're making your way to the end of the first half of the month, and we have the High Priestess. And so you make your way to wrap up the first half of the month, and you are very much in touch with your higher self. For those of you who feel you're very spiritually connected, that is heightened at this time. Allowing for yourself to, given the overall message going back, to continue to, if you haven't already at this point in the month, go with the flow. Allow yourself to experience things in a different way. When need be, allow for yourself to stop at this point in the month and meditate or simply ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing. Ask yourself what the end goal is. Asking yourself if you have been going with the flow enough, and if you have been, to continue. At this point in the month, you'll find yourself very much in your own head, trying to sort through a few things, trying to better understand, why certain things came to an end recently, or why certain things didn't pan out as you expected. I need to simplify your thoughts, meditation being a great method in order to not overcomplicate what was meant to be or what was not meant to be. Allow for, at this point in the month, for things to simply fall into place as you start to or continue to go with the flow. And we make our way to the second half of the month in spread, and we have the Ace of Wands. And so you make your way to start the second half of the month. You're still very headstrong, very much thinking about all that's come to be, stressing a little bit over what hasn't come to be. It's the beginning of the second half of the month where you will find yourself, without meaning to, focusing on the connections or the lack of which in your life. Asking yourself why you have neglected certain connections and focused on others. Or simply asking yourself why you haven't made enough time or focus for certain people that you care for. It's a good time in the month for you to ask yourself why you need certain connections in order to move forward, and how they'll benefit you, and vice versa. Being aligned with the Empress. The beginning of the second half of the month is a true highlight on new beginnings, fresh starts, your mindset. Given what took place between this Eight of Cups and High Priestess part of the month, whatever that ended up being for you, there's a need for you to begin the second half of the month readjusting your mindset if need be, or simply focus on the positives, staying optimistic, allowing yourself to remember that what you focus on becomes your reality, and allowing yourself to continue to go with the flow, but to do so in a productive manner. To go with the flow and focus on the negatives or expect the worst is going to get you nowhere, right? To begin the second half of the month, slightly adjusting your perspective if need be, to become more optimistic once again, and continue to go with the flow is going to benefit you greatly, all right? And realizing that once again that your fresh mindset needs to be a positive one. We're making our way to the middle of the second half of the month, and we have the Temperance card. So at this point in the month, I'm seeing in my mind's eye this card in reverse. You might find yourself a little bit impatient. There's going to be several reminders coming through from Spirit and the universe that patience is going to be your best friend at this point, allowing yourself to take it down a notch if need be, or simply slow it down. It'll help you be one with that inner peace, that patience, and have a better understanding of all that's meant to be. It's at this point in the month where you'll be reminded through small reminders, that's horribly put, you'll be reminded through small signs, if you will, from the universe, from Spirit, that everything's going to fall into place as it's meant to. Certain endings, certain disruptions in your plan, if you will, or how you foresaw things being, are all meant to be. Everything happens one way or the other for the benefit of where things are meant to go for you. I understand that came out a little bit confusing, but just remembering at this point in the month that everything does happen for a reason, the good and the bad. Being aligned with the Eight of Cups. It's this part in the month where you will also find yourself thinking back to that connection, or these connections that you have to temporarily walk away from once or multiple times within certain parts of the month. Allowing for yourself to have patience with certain people, including yourself, as you improve, as you progress, as you try to be a better version of yourself. Allowing for yourself to, as well, go with the flow with these connections, with these people, knowing wholeheartedly that as you try to improve, as you try to grow as an individual, they're doing the same, you know, and everyone goes through their own process, their own progression and improvements. And so you try to put yourself in these people and these other individuals' shoes, understanding that everyone has their own struggles, and it'll help you have a little bit more patience with them as well as the process and yourself. All right. And so we're making our way to the end of the month, and we have justice. So as you make your way to finish up the second half of the month, there's a focus on your balance, a need for balance, or simply a need to maintain a level of balance within your connections, within your life in general. For those of you who feel overworked at this point in the month, it's a need for you to balance out those areas of your life, not to fully focus or put all your efforts towards work, and to maybe think back to some connections that need more attention, right? Maybe self-care as well. But it's at this point in the month where you can't help but think back to all of the ups and downs, lefts and rights that you've been through. Because think about it, Leo, you have been through a lot recently. And some of which is due to potentially bad choices, but we live and we learn, right? Allowing for yourself to, as you continue to go with the flow and try to balance things out for yourself in the best way possible, to learn from what you've been through, to understand that you're still growing, you're still becoming the best version of yourself. And it's at this point in the month where you will benefit from having this productive thought process, where the universe and spirit gives you your own small taste of justice, a reminder that everything's going to fall into place as it's meant to. Being aligned with the High Priestess, you're going to find that the end of the month it does balance things out for you a bit, but you do need to continue to stay in touch with your higher self, with spirit and the universe, and allow for things to be the way they're meant to. Trying not to force things. You can see the similarity in the imagery. Allowing yourself to close your eyes and imagine the way you want it to be, the way you want things to fall into place, but simply continuing to go with the flow. Allowing for yourself to reflect a bit, but not too much. Because knowing at the end of the day that over-reflecting, over-analyzing what you've been through will just stress you out at the end of the day. You know, again, we live, we learn, we grow, and we move on. So on that note, my friends, I hope this reading was truly helpful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you have the most amazing June, and I'll see you next time. Bye.